Hey guys, it's your girl Kim J, and right now you're locked on to Extra Time TV. Take a look.
So hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Extra Time TV. We're here at the Raw Fitness Center in Gasparilla. It's an amazing facility. We all love it. You're all probably wondering what the crowd is about behind. There's a whole bunch of media guys here from all the different, I call it the fraternity of media brothers. I don't know, we could probably dub that from today. So with that being said, you know, we have Ken Fuentes, James Saunders, and the super famous Kevin Campbell. So with that being said, you know guys, you know, everybody's talking about the Champions League, but we are back to Trinidad now. The World Cup qualifying has resumed. Trinidad has some very crucial games. First of which, Trinidad take on USA. Dennis Lawrence, while we were playing here, we got the squads on our mobile devices. You know, I'm going to start off. James, what do you think about the squad and what Dennis Lawrence needs to do for the upcoming game?
You know, there's a lot I could say about the squad. What stands out for me is the absence of Cordell Cato, Levi Garcia. We have been very fortunate in the build-up so far to not have injury concerns. Now we see the likes of Levi Garcia, which is a critical player, missing out. And then we're hearing that Cordell Cato has some disciplinary issues, and he has been one of the prominent players for this team for quite a while. So I am slightly concerned. I mean, there are replacements. Nathan Lewis comes to mind. Kevin Molino can also play in a wide attacking position as well. But, you know, I'm a bit nervous. I mean, not just the fact that we're playing the USA, and that makes us nervous, and we haven't been able to overcome the psychological barrier of facing the US in quite a while, but we do benefit from good preparation this time around, you know, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. In fact, I'm keeping everything crossed. I'm keeping a prayer meeting the night before, you know, as we look forward to that game.
So, you know, Ken, tell us your thoughts. I know he has lots of thoughts, so let's hear it.
I think this squad is a bit predictable. Honestly, we don't have as large a pool of some of the other countries in the CONCACAF region. Again, missing Cordell Cato, missing Levi Garcia, Willis Plaza. It's a huge loss for the team. But again, we need to get over this mental thing that the US are better than us, right? We need to realize that it's 11 versus 11 at the end of the day, and who wants it more. And again, it's going to come down to critical, who makes the least amount of mistakes. Every game, sometimes we match these teams for 70, 80 minutes and then that one mistake and we crack. We need to know that even if they take the lead, that we can come back in the game. Yes. And I think Dennis Lawrence has gotten, I mean, his experience playing abroad, his experience as a coach with the Everton and also with the Wigan team, as also a scout for Belgium. You know, that level of experience he has brought to the team has also brought a level of calmness, and I hope it translates in this US game.
Yeah, because James and I, we spoke earlier this week about how we were very impressed with his preparations. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to do some work with him. I'm seeing his training sessions. He's implementing what he has learned in Europe, clearly, which should be the standard practice. And, you know, the teams are being, you know, very, at this level, they made a very good point, Ken, where it's down to episodes. We saw it in the Costa Rica game, Kevin. You know, that little, when we considered the second goal, we seem to have a weakness on set pieces at times. And it's little moments of concentration at this level. We saw it in the Champions League where that makes a difference. We're at a level where people are preparing at such a high level now that these games are decided by episodes. Now, yes, you might see a 4-1 at the end, but there's probably always some key critical moment that turns the game. So, for example, right now, Trinidad's going to take on USA. Everybody here agreed it's a psychological component. We have this thing against the US. I have seen us played in previous times. I think we could really take it to them. The Cato issue and Levi is a real concern for me. I personally think Levi is that dynamic player, the Pulisic type player for us. Although we have Molino and we have a bunch of players, one key area I think many people forget, and we are seeing it now, is that we don't have that large, massive pool. We have, for those who follow local football, we have options that you all mentioned, and that is a real concern. So Kevin, I know you want to say something. Let's hear it.
Yes, guys. I mean, the game is 4th against 6th in Colorado, and 1 point separates us. So a victory could catapult us above the US. But Dennis Lawrence has decisions to make in the back exactly. The last 2 games, in my opinion, we played great at the back. Conceded 1 goal. Why? We had Curtis Gonzalez and Daniel Cyrus at the center of the defense. Now, Sheldon Bateau was suspended, so he has a choice to make. I mean, Bateau has arguably been our best defender before these 2 games. So he can choose either between Bateau, Gonzalez, or Cyrus for 2 spots. That will mean that maybe one of them may be siphoned out to the wide positions. Because I know Arvin Jones plays well, but Williams can also play a part. But in the midfield, it's going to be your normal Highland and George, who played great against Mexico. Fantastic performance. But for the US, I mean, they had a warm game against Venezuela over the weekend, and they drew 2-2 thanks to a Pulisic goal in the second half. But the US, Bruce Arena, Uncle Bruce is back, guys. And what he has, he changed the mindset of the team. I mean, it's more pragmatic now. You have guys like Darlington Nagme and Bradley in the middle with width in Pulisic and Sebastian Legit. So what may happen is that he may play 2 up front, as he did against Venezuela, with Dempsey and Altidore. Dempsey aims to become USA's #1 goal scorer. He needs 1 more goal to equal Donovan's record at 56. So let's see what happens.
Besides rapping, he scores goals apparently.
Yeah.
So what we usually do, guys, you know, like just to analyze things, you know, strengths and weaknesses. Bruce Arena, as Kevon said, you know, has added a pragmatic approach to the team. Is there any particular area? I mean, everybody's highlighting Pulisic. Is there any particular area that Trinidad can exploit in your eyes, James? James and Ken, that you could really say in the US team that we could really take advantage of?
Well, you know, our strength for much of the campaign has been our pace. You know, we have got some fast players. I mean, Jovin Jones on the outside, Cato, who's going to be absent, Levi Garcia, even Nathan Lewis, who is set to come in very quick, you know. So that has always been our strength. We've got very athletic players who can exploit the wide areas with good technical ability. You know, that being said, the US themselves, very quick team as well. I mean, they are a very athletic team as well. So this is going to be an interesting contest, because when we have come up against like-minded teams, we have not fared that well, because of course, you know, we cancel out each other. I mean, we think of Panama, for example, who we've been a dogfight with, you know, because we're quite similar in terms of that. All right, so I think that may be somewhat of a struggle for us, especially in our transition game, because sometimes we do not transition well from attack to defense, and likewise from defense to attack. I'm hoping that Dennis Lawrence can get that into the team. I mean, I went to some of Stephen Hart's session before, and I saw him, you know, he recognized that as a weakness of the team, and he has been working on that. Dennis came in, and the games that I saw so far, you know, again, that's where the team struggles for me. Also, what I think the US has over us, they've got the likes of Michael Bradley, who is a player who can dictate the pace of the game. We do not, in my opinion, have that type of player that dictates the pace of the game well. The US, I mean, I did the commentary, US against Mexico. Very quick game, both teams cancelling out each other, but they had the ability to sit back, wait for the right moments, and then attack. I don't think that we do that very well, and that's where we lose the game sometimes, you know, because we are unable to dictate the pace of the game. And when teams sit back against us, we are not good movers of the ball, so we do not create nearly as enough chances, especially if the wide areas are cancelled out.
And you know, Ken, let's hear your thoughts.
I think one of the keys for us, if we can manage to score early and put a little pressure on the US, I think scoring against the US in Colorado, especially where they're expected to have the advantage, will shock them. Yeah. Also to our defenders need to be focused for the 100% for the entire game. Sometimes that one little mistake, that one little bad pass, sometimes from the defenders, especially our wide defenders, can cost us the game. You know, and I think we need to be focused, especially our back four and our 2 defensive midfielders. Keep the likes of Bradley in check, keep the likes of Altidore in check, keep the likes of Nagbe in check. Once we keep those players in check, even Clem Dempsey, it tends to get to them, because they're not going to expect a team like they expect, to me, almost like a walkover for Trinidad and Tobago. But once we can get into their head and score first and put them under a little pressure, I think that can work in our advantage. Yeah,
I agree. And the common thing I'm starting to see here in all of our opinions is that, you know, game management is a term we use all the time, and that's an area that we are very. It's something Stephen Hart tried to address. You know, I'm pretty sure Dennis Lawrence as well. It's something where in the modern era you practice, you train, but you still have to apply it on the field. And those moments are lapses. We keep going back to this. Moments of concentration, the ability to make decisions on the field is where I think we are deficient, because I know a lot of these players. They are very technically very solid players. They understand tactics, and the ability to adjust is where I still think we are deficient. So for example, Mexico, USA, they adjust their tactics during the game, and we still have that little window where we sort of kind of look to the coach and the players adapt, and they exploit that. We have improved admittedly over the last couple of years. I've seen it under Hart, I've seen the progression. Our ability to control the ball. Even Stephen Hart, when we drew with the US 1-1 back in 2015. We took the game to the US. And that was something I was really impressed with Trinidad, and I think that was him trying to work on his psychological aspect, and we keep coming back to that psychological aspect. So I think once we could get past that, I agree with you, if we could get that first goal and go with the mentality that we are going to win this game, which is what I think Dennis is going for a win. Yeah. He is going for a win, and I think that's the right approach. Being a former guy from that 2006 squad, he could transmit those ideas to the players.
I think the preparation says that, because if you look, the team has been in Colorado for like almost 2 weeks now.
Yes, I've been very impressed. He has his analyst, he's implementing the GPS software. You know, he's building on the ideas that were done by the predecessors, which is a problem. A lot of coaches, you don't need to scrap everything. You could build that, and I admire that about Dennis. Dennis came in and said, okay, these guys established this foundation, and I'm going to build on this and make it better. And he has been reaching out to all aspects of Trinidad to collect data and get things better. So in the short term, I want him to win really bad. So with that being said, guys, we spoke about possible weaknesses with the US. Key players for both teams. Kevin, we'll start with you and we'll come back this way.
Andre, guys, you look at the front line for Trinidad, Kenwin Jones, he is a key player. But I think that Dennis Lawrence, he has to have a big decision to make, because he needs to have guys playing off of Jones. And he needs to have guys, even in the second half, to come on who can influence the game in a different manner to Jones. Why I'm saying that is because the US centre-backs, Omar Gonzalez and John Brooks, they're both taller than Jones, and they're both stronger than Jones. So Jones' attributes that usually brings him home in the other games would not be of service in this game, because those two guys are bruisers. So in my opinion, he needs to have better play in that final third, more intricate passes, get around those guys. So maybe Botswain or even Winchester can come on, have an influence, and get in between the lines and have that intricate play to unlock those two giant centre-backs. Now for the US, I'm seeing Downton Nagbe as being that key guy, the Portland Timbers centre midfielder. Now he played the last 2 games, he started both. This is a guy that did not play the previous qualifiers, but as Bruce came in, he started every single minute of the game. So he can be a key player. He's a kind of guy that passes well. He plays good long balls. He can good on the ball, good technically. Quite different from what the US usually has. They have more physical, dominant players, but he is that sort of Tricatista player that can get on the ball and kind of dictate play, as well as Bradley. So that can be double trouble for us. So guys, who are you going to keep players in this game?
Well, for me, you know, for the US team, I'll start there. I'm going to go with Michael Bradley. I was not a big fan of his earlier on in his career, but having covered a lot of US games, I have become a big fan. And it's simply due to his game management. He's certainly one that really controls the tempo. He's a very intelligent player. He keeps the ball well, waits for the right moment, and he also brings players like Pulisic, who's another key player, into the game very well. Pulisic, I mean, there's no need to talk about his space. Space, it's a nightmare. It's a living nightmare, Pulisic in his space. But what he does, he has space, great technical ability, good passing skill of a number 10, and he's very smart and can get in between the lines. And sometimes that's where we switch off, because when we attack, we leave a lot of space behind us, and sometimes that's exactly the space that the likes of Pulisic will be looking to exploit against us. Of course, we can't forget Clint Dempsey as well. I mean, you know, that is Sir King Clint Dempsey. You sleep, he's gonna snooze, he's gonna hurt you. For Trinidad and Tobago, of course, Joven Jones he has been the critical player for us throughout the campaign, and you know, it may sound, you know, a bit cliche to say Joven Jones over and over, but Joven Jones is our key player. Kevin Molino, very good player for us, but I think sometimes in big games he has been known to go to sleep, and that's not the Kevin Molino that we want to see. Perhaps he may have some motivation because he does play in the US for Minnesota, and he has been dominant in the US. This is familiar territory for him. This is not going to be new territory for him. So maybe he will see this as a great challenge for him, and he will step up his game. We need Kevin Molino to come alive in the games that we do have upcoming as well.
So Ken, let's hear your picks.
I think I agree with James with some of his picks. I like the likes of Michael Bradley, who I think is an excellent midfielder, good controller of the game. His passing is excellent. You see it when he plays for Toronto, and when he's on the field for the US national team, there's a level of calm you see there with the team when he's on the field. Also, Christian Pulisic, what more could we say about this young man? Yeah. Super talented, could play between the lines, also very good on the wing, and he has an eye for goal as well. I would even say Tim Howard. Tim Howard has been one of the longest servants for the US in the goal, and he's also still a top-class goalkeeper. Up front, I would still go with Jose Altidore. I think he's one of those players that when the US needs him to show up, he shows up. For Trinidad and Tobago, John Michael Williams, his command of his defense I think will be critical, especially in this game, because he's the last line. So he'll be seeing the game and be able to manage the game and talk to his defenders. And I think our defenders, sometimes their communication can be a bit of a problem, and he needs to be loud and vocal and tell them where they need to be. As well as Joven Jones, as James rightfully said, our best player by miles for a long time, and one of our most consistent players for some time. Yeah. Kevin Molino, I hope he shows up and gives us the Kevin Molino we have seen for Orlando, yeah, and for we now seen for Minnesota. We need that level of consistency from him. He knows these players, and I think if he's focused, I think we could actually spring a surprise on the US team.
Yep. For me, just to narrow it down, it sounds like I'm copying and pasting James and you as well. I think for Trinidad, I mean, I could sit down and talk about all the players, but I really think John Michael Williams. Everybody speaks about the midfield and offense. There's other areas I could pick on, but when he was not there, his ability to command the back four. I've had the pleasure of seeing him at Central FC. Sometimes I'm behind the games, I'm behind the post with him, and I hear how he communicates with the defense. It is amazing how much he calms down the back four. He's very composed. He has a presence in the goal, and you need guys like that in big games. I mean, this is not a slight at the other keepers, but John has that presence about him. I've seen, Marvin Phillip is very quick with his reflexes. Fuentes is still new to the international arena, but John Michael Williams is a guy who I think is very critical in a game. I've spoken to him before. He has no fear of any opposition. I interviewed him once on another show, and he said when they were playing Argentina, he had absolutely no fear, and he said the players felt that from him. And credit to Trinidad in that game. Argentina, we stood toe-to-toe to them. A lot of the goals were like set pieces, even one was controversial. And I believe John Michael Williams' presence in the game, for Trinidad at least, among others, would be key, at least in the first couple of minutes, to calm the nerves, calm down that psychological thing that we have against the US, and be able to just go into the game and say, guys, nobody's going to score on us today. And John will be that guy to communicate. For US, I was going to say Pulisic, but I have a huge admiration for Bradley over the years. I saw him when he was in Roma, and his ability to manage games. He is a guy, if he plays well, the other players play well. He connects the defense to the offense. He's an amazing player in terms of speeding things up, slowing it down. He's very deceptive. I saw him at the Copa Centenario up close. That game against Argentina. If he's probably what kept the game from being a 10-0, to be honest. He was able to disrupt. He's not afraid to get stuck in and be physical. He has a wide array of his passing array is superb. And as I said before, he's not afraid to get stuck in. So I don't want to repeat what James said, but basically I agree for the US, Bradley, and to a lesser extent, Howard as well. But if we find a way to stifle Bradley and shut him down, as well as the other components in the midfield, the US will have to drop deep, and I think we could cause them some troubles with our attacking players. I was going to say Joven Jones, but I didn't want to steal your players. So but it is true. So with that being said, guys, just to narrow it down, because we could talk about this forever. We are fans. We love Trinidad and Tobago. So, Kevin, I'll start with you. How do you think the game is going to go?
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. We need to overcome the occasion and put our dominance down, and actually don't be afraid of the US. That's the only way I can see us getting any result in Colorado. The game, I can see a draw. I'll be happy with a draw because, honestly, guys, this upcoming block of qualifiers are arguably our most difficult games, because after Colorado, we go down to San Jose in Costa Rica, which is another monumental game, an occasion.
Well, again, I never like predicting games, but, if Trinidad and Tobago plays well, I think getting a result, and I say a result very guardedly. It could be a draw, could be a victory, but we have to play 100% to be able to do that. Can we play 100%? I think we can, concentration-wise. That's where we've got to be careful. So I'm hoping for a positive result as a fan. I'm going to say, yeah, go TNT. We're going to win. But, as an analyst or analyzing it very respectfully, I would say that, I would be happy with a result, whether it's a draw.
Okay. I think, again, as we all mentioned before, the one thing we need to do is not be afraid of the US. And I would be satisfied with a draw. A point would be good against the US, but again, as a fan and a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, I would want to win, but I'll be satisfied with a draw.
Okay, with me, I'm not going to sit on the fence. I will try to shy away from that. The emotional side of me goes for optimistically a draw. I think we are capable of winning, yes, but realistically, I'm trying to be analytical. I think it will be a very hard-fought game, and we'll probably come away. And I hate to say that this is the analytical side fan, so don't kill me. I think we may put up a good fight, and those moments of concentration will undo us. And of course, this is the one case, so I hope I'm completely wrong. I want to be wrong, trust me, I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong, I want everybody in Trinidad to walk up to me and say they were wrong and we win this game, turn around our qualification, but I think we'll give it a good go and maybe succumb to a 1-0. But the fan in me wants us to go there and trash them 4-0. So I'm not going to sit on the fence, that's the analytical side. So guys, it's been a pleasure. So guys, you all have your social media handles. Where can we find you, James?
At James Saunders TV, Instagram, Twitter.
Ken, where can we find you?
Ken_Fuentes Instagram, Ken_Fuentes Twitter.
All right. You can find me here. Okay, I'm kidding. Okay, you can find me at Andrew Suklam on Twitter and Instagram, and Kevon, where can we find you?
Kev868 on Twitter and Instagram.
So don't forget to like, subscribe. When you like and subscribe to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, also follow us on Instagram. You automatically qualify for a chance to win a copy of FIFA 17. Grab it now because soon 18 is going to come out. So your comments, we really, it helps your chances. And also tickets to upcoming games between Trinidad and Tobago, not just the men, but the women as well. So with that being said, this wonderful episode has been brought to you by the kind folks out.
Maestro.
Nice.
Okay guys, so that wraps things up of this episode of Extra Time TV. Be sure to tune in next time and like and subscribe. Check us out below.